It's a public service that sometimes calls people, the ultimate sacrifice.
A hotly contested request for the sale of liquor.
We're not talking about real justice. We're talking about selective justice.
One of the biggest threats to academic performance, students' mental health and public safety.
All this and more
Tonight on Grady Newsource.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College of the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Welcome into Grady Newsource. I'm Erin Pegenkoff.
And I'm Blake Cavanis.
Tablets, smartphones, and smartwatches. If the governor signs a law banning them, they'll be kicked out of the classroom.
Despite having just passed in both the House and the Senate, the Distraction-Free Education Act is facing criticism due to rising concerns for student safety. Grady Newsource reporter Megan Pastino explains the concerns.
Let's do what's right for Georgia students. Let's get cell phones out of the classroom so a teacher can teach and our brightest minds can learn. Let's pass House Bill 340 and bring focus back to the classroom.
And with that, the measure passed.
The evidence is clear. One of the biggest threats to academic performance, students' mental health and public safety, are cell phones in our schools.
There are some, like those here at this Barrow County School Board meeting last month, who aren't in favor of the bill. Appalachia High School parent Jonathan Hardy and his daughter Kylie are two of them.
But teachers are starting to use that again. Put your phones away, do this, put them in that little phone slots at the desk, at the doors. Not happening. Kids don't feel safe.
My phone is constantly on SOS. There's no way of communicating with anyone if something were to happen, and anything can happen.
The bill now awaits Governor Kemp's signature after its success in the Capitol. For Grady Newsource, I'm Megan Pastino.
Earlier today, we posted a poll on our Newsource socials asking for your thoughts on House Bill 340. The results are in.
With 94% of voters claiming that students should have access to phones in schools, the overwhelming consensus in public opinion opposes this bill.
Tune in next week to hear how local law enforcement and school administrators plan to alleviate student safety concerns in the wake of this bill's passing. Megan Pastino will bring us that story on Monday.
And moving on, dying in the line of duty. It often refers to the ultimate sacrifices made by police officers, firefighters, and first responders.
Now, the Georgia legislature is considering adding public school teachers to that group. A bill is on its way to the state Senate floor, would provide funds for those left behind when public servants lose their lives in the line of duty. Grady Newsource reporter Shelby Watson has the story.
Officers arrest criminals. Firefighters battle blazes. Teachers spend the day with your children, and that's a little riskier these days.
It is sad that we have to talk about public school employees in the same sentence as those lines of work.
For police officers, working in the South has greater fatal consequences. FBI statistics show the South had the most law enforcement deaths in 2024. It's why this Georgia bill aims to expand the funds a victim's family can receive for post-secondary education. But with the tragedy of last year's Appalachia High School shooting still fresh in the minds of Georgia residents, it's no surprise public school teachers and employees entered the conversation.
I have to imagine if it was not the genesis of the concept, it definitely helped further strengthen the case for it.
Aspiring teacher Laurel O'Brien was student teaching at a preschool 15 minutes away from Appalachia High School when the shooting happened, and the tragedy put the hard reality of teaching into perspective.
I felt very frightened and scared, but there comes a point in time where you have to realize as a teacher, you are the kids' support system and you are their protector in a sense.
Violence against teachers isn't limited to school shootings. One study found that 56% of surveyed teachers reported physical violence from students against educators at least once a year. And with the risk of school shootings and the effects of a global pandemic, Page lobbyist Robert Aycock says things are not the same in the classroom.
As these bills show, it's a public service that sometimes calls people, the ultimate sacrifice.
But there are still teachers that refuse to let the statistics and fear get to them.
It is so fearful to be thinking about, at any minute someone could break in, but that could happen anywhere, realistically. It's sad that a common place is schools and that we are on the line of duty, but me being so passionate about what I want to do in the future, it hasn't really frightened me much.
The bill passed the Senate Committee on Higher Education yesterday morning and now moves to the Senate floor to be voted on before the last day of session next week. Shelby Watson, Grady Newsource.
Thanks, Shelby. A controversial partisan bill is headed to the House floor after it just passed the House Judiciary Civil Committee, known as the Georgia Religious Freedom Restoration Act. Senate Bill 36 passed the Senate earlier this month, and after an almost hour-long debate and a party line vote.
While the act at the federal level protects from federal intrusion on religious expressions, Republican sponsors say this bill aims to protect the freedom to worship, specifically from state and local government. Democrats argue this bill could protect discriminatory actions such as against the LGBTQ community as religious expression. If the bill passes the House before the end of the week, it will head to Governor Kemp's desk to be signed into law. Fentanyl traffickers could now serve a minimum 10 years behind bars. The HALT fentanyl bill is currently awaiting the president's signature to become law.
Eddie Newbert joins us live in the studio to show you how one local county is coping with the increase in fentanyl and how this law may help. Eddie, how could this bill affect the fentanyl challenge in Madison County?
This could make a huge difference at Madison County, where authorities deal with 10 to 15 overdose cases per month. Captain Jimmy Patton struggles with the fentanyl epidemic and says this drug is unlike anything that has ever come down.
It just pretty much kills people, all it does.
Patton often deals with repeat offenders, and he hopes that this bill could keep people from being caught repeatedly.
We get a lot of recidivists out here, the same people over and over, and if the penalties go up, the chances of seeing them again become less.
Fact of the matter is, guys, that fentanyl has recently become one of the deadliest overdose drugs inside of the United States. Dennis and Devin Doherty work at an addiction and treatment center, and they see it quite frequently. All right, we'll throw it back to the desk. We don't have that for you guys right now.
Thanks, Eddie. Another local city has its own big decision on its hands. Legalizing the sale of liquor has been a hot subject in Comer for the last month, and people can expect debates to continue at least for the near future.
Grady Newsource reporter Jack Keys reports.
Sunday, this place was packed.
Joey Wilbon is a frequenter at Comer City Council meetings. He says large attendances are uncommon, but on Monday, City Hall was teeming with opinions.
It'd never be over 67 people there. This time we had way over 25 people there.
The reason? Local officials are responding to a request that would allow liquor sales in Comer. The city currently prohibits liquor sales, but permits the sale of beer and wine.
I think it is time for Comer to have a liquor store.
Ashay Dave owns a Valero in downtown Comer. He made the request last month, and he says a change to the city's liquor laws wouldn't just benefit him, but they would benefit the whole town.
It would be better for people of Comer not to spend their money somewhere else or some other city or other counties.
There are plenty of objections. Take a look at a few of these emails. This one says liquor sales would mean more cops and higher taxes. Another says Comer's tranquility and goodness would be compromised. Wilbon says a liquor store within the city, that would be problematic.
And I think that liquor store will bring a lot of crime. It'll bring a lot of negativity to the town, in town.
The objections that were raised in the council meeting were the addictive nature of alcohol, the way that it can diminish a community's character.
Dave says liquor purchases are inevitable, though.
If somebody wants to drink, they're going to drink regardless, whether they bring it from Comer or they buy it from Alberton.
So after Monday night's busy meeting, City Clerk Mary Alexander tells me it could be months before the city renders its final decision on this issue. Reporting in Comer for Grady Newsource, I'm Jack Keys.
Local leaders are working to regulate what businesses can open near places of worship, but state officials are focusing on digital security restrictions. Reporter Jack Keys is here to tell us more. Jack, what have you been hearing?
Well, thanks, Blake. Governor Kemp's administration expanded its list of prohibited apps on state-owned devices this afternoon. UGA faculty and staff were notified earlier this afternoon of 6 more apps being added to the list today. The most notable of that group was RedNote, of course, the Chinese app many Americans turned to during the TikTok ban.
And what is it with all these apps being banned?
Well, the main priority right now has been data privacy and public safety. TikTok, WeChat, and Telegram were the first apps the governor restricted back in December of 2022. Chancellor Sonny Perdue issued a directive stating that Kemp's administration is worried about cyber criminals and foreign entities that regularly exploit digital vulnerabilities to breach networks, steal sensitive information, and undermine trust in public institutions. So as long as students, faculty, and staff use their personal devices, they can still access these apps, but employees cannot use them on devices that access certain University of Georgia data.
Thanks, Jack. We'll be following this story as it develops, and after the break, we'll have an update on a local music festival that is set to have its biggest year yet for a special cause.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far. A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
It's done. Thank you.
Study, please. I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Governor Brian Kemp is celebrating lawmakers passing his key legislative goal, an overhaul to the Georgia legal system.
Grady Newsource reporter Tristan Bird spent the day at the state capitol and explains how this bill will affect Georgians.
I hope people understand that their justice has been taken away, and the majority of our House chamber and the Senate chamber voted to enrich the wealthiest companies that exist in our country, rather than protect the rights of its citizens.
That's Democrat State Representative Spencer Fry. His, among others, concern about the bill include lawyers no longer being able to recommend how much money someone can get for pain and suffering, as well as those who are being sued can now delay a response to a lawsuit if they have questions or need clarification on something. Governor Brian Kemp argues that the bill levels the playing field in courtrooms and stabilizes insurance costs for businesses and consumers.
Our insurance rates keep going up. Everything keeps going up, and our law claims keep going up, our verdicts keep going up. So in order to help our businesses, we have got to come up with some type of tort reform.
Nothing in the bill includes any specific laws to directly lower insurance premiums.
Well, we're not saying it's going to cut insurance rates because we're not sure if anything's going to cut. We're just hoping it's going to stabilize the rates.
The bill is waiting to be signed by Governor Kemp with no official word on when that will be. Tristan Bird, Grady Newsource.
The fight to save the historical Say building in downtown Athens, Georgia is heating up. A group of investors has upped the offer from $2 million to $3 million in the last-minute push to prevent its demolition. The building, a downtown landmark since 1918, remains at the center of a high-stakes preservation battle. The 6th annual Jam for Cam Music Festival takes over downtown Athens this weekend.
And organizers are expecting a huge crowd. Grady Newsource reporter Holly Kate O'Brien is live right now from downtown Athens. Holly Kate, I've been thinking about clearing my schedule on Saturday. Can you tell me about more and our viewers what we can expect?
Athens, Jam in the Streets is taking over these streets of downtown Athens this Saturday. Take a look at where this organization started and where their money is being donated to. This is Clayton Street. The streets may be empty now, but come Saturday, the streets are going to be packed and people are going to be jamming.
Athens, Georgia, home of one of the greatest music scenes in the country. The birthplace of artists like REM and Widespread Panic, and iconic venues such as the 40 Watt Club and the Georgia Theater. But there is a new contender in the arena of Athens music. Get ready to jam in the streets.
Broadcasting live from downtown Athens.
Jam in the Streets, formerly known as Jam for Cam, will be taking place in downtown Athens on March 29th. The festival is in honor of Cameron Fearon, who passed away in 2019 from metastatic melanoma. The festival, now going on its 6th year, raises money for 2 organizations, the Melanoma Research Foundation and Camp Carolina, a boys' camp.
A place that Cameron was very fond of and, said that it turned him into the young gentleman that he became before his passing. So that's something that we've kind of kept through with us.
The music festival hosts Milky Chance, Penelope Road, Congress the Band, the Gringos, and other performers. The team will be selling 10,000 wristbands and expect to sell out the day of the event, expecting between 15 to 20,000 people to be jamming in the streets. The roads will close at noon. Music will start at select bars starting around 2 o'clock p.m. with the headliner Milky Chance starting at 10 o'clock p.m.
Sure. Keep the legacy of Cameron going. It's definitely ideal.
Cam's lasting impact will for sure be felt in the streets this Saturday. Holly Kate O'Brien, Grady Newsource. Bands will be playing in select bars here at 2:30 p.m. 2 stages are going to be outside in the streets of downtown Athens. One stage right behind me by Silver Dollar and another stage right here by Chick-fil-A in downtown Athens. To learn more, donate, buy tickets, or just to learn more about the program, visit the Jam for Cam Instagram bio at Jam for Cam or givebutter.com/Jam4Cam2025. Back to y'all in the studio.
Thanks, Holly Kate. After the break, Blake will be giving you his 5-day sports forecast.
You won't want to miss it.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woo-hoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie. So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
sports forecast with all the games you won't want to miss. Tonight, the NCAA Men's Swim and Dive National Championship kicks off at 9 p.m. with a 200-yard medley relay and the 800-yard freestyle relay. The Georgia Bulldogs qualified with the third best time for that 800-yard one and have a good chance to compete for that title. Tomorrow, it's opening day for Major League Baseball with your local Atlanta Braves starting their season away at the San Diego Padres. And then moving on to Friday, we will have 4 Sweet 16 matches for the NCAA men's tournament. The game of the day will be the Houston Cougars versus the Purdue Boilermakers. Houston have been a #1 seed over the past three tournaments, but have failed to make it past the Sweet 16. It'll be a late night battle with tip-off at 10 p.m. And then Saturday should be a pivotal game for Georgia baseball with 11th ranked Auburn coming to Athens. Both teams have played Kentucky and both have won their series 2-1. This matchup will be a great early season test for both teams. First pitch will be at 4 p.m. And then finally, on Sunday, Georgia softball will be playing against number 25 Alabama. They won their final game against number 3 LSU and could build off that by stealing a series at Alabama. That's all for the sports, but stay with us because Aaron will be here with the actual 5-day weather forecast right after the break.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Today, the sun was out and shining in clear skies with a high of 73, and tonight we'll see a low of 42 degrees. Tomorrow, the temperatures will rise 1 degree to a high of 74, but the sun will still be out. During the night, we'll see a low of 50 with partly cloudy skies. Friday, heat will rise with a high of 81 with partly sunny skies, and the night temperatures will reach a low of 56 while bringing in some more clouds. Those clouds will carry over with us to Saturday, where we have some coverage from the sun with mostly cloudy skies, but still have a high of 78 degrees. There is a 40% chance of showers with a low of 59 Saturday night. That 40% chance of rain will follow us all day Sunday, where we will have a high of 80 degrees with the addition of possible thunderstorms in the afternoon. Finally, Sunday night, we will have that 40% chance still with us and thunderstorms, but there'll be partly cloudy skies with a low of around 63. That's all we have for weather, but come back after the break to hear how Athens plans to connect with Savannah, Georgia through the great outdoors.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase.
My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
Finally found a place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Your home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to Grady Newsource. A 211-mile trail from Athens to Tybee Island is set to boost business, cut carbon footprints, and transform local travel.
Tonight, Grady Newsource reporter DeAndre Harris is live at the Firefly Trail with a closer look at the Georgia High-Low Trail and the vision behind it.
Thanks, guys. Yes, take a look at the scene behind me. I've been here all day. I've seen dozens of walkers, runners, and a few fur babies along the way. The Georgia High-Low Trail is set to be 211 miles connecting Athens, Georgia to Savannah, Georgia. This explores the boost between local businesses in the community here in Athens, Clarke County. This also involves an eco-friendly way for the residents of Athens, Clarke County to get active. The plan for the completion of the Georgia High-Low Trail is set for 2050, and they are promising a powerful and record-breaking connection across the state. I'm DeAndre Harris, live from the Firefly Trail for Grady Newsource. Back to you guys.
Thanks, DeAndre. We will see you Wednesday, 5 p.m. for our broadcast. That's all we have today. I'm Erin Pegenkoff.
And I'm Blake Cavness. Thanks for watching.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
Finally found a place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
about this critique session. We had a couple of students that were able to sit and watch the show, so we're going to hear from them first. Shelby Watson, you watched the show. Give us your critique. And I know it's going to be like everybody's beautiful and I love you all, and that's fabulous because that's all true. But what are some learning opportunities? What did we do well, and what do we need to work on? Because we did some things really, really well, but we got a couple of things to work on.
My own, but I think some other videos fall in the same trap of too many screen recordings. Screen recordings of the bills, screen recordings of study, screen recordings of meetings. Like, I feel like today was a really good show, but I did notice there was a little bit more of a lean on like just getting public video instead of going to get video ourselves, which I know can be hard. One thing, and I'm sure some of the other people in here were touched on this, Jack reading his reader at the anchor desk was a little bit jarring for us because it came right out of his package. So, and usually like the way our brains work, I know, is that if I go to you after your package, you're still talking about your package. So when he started talking about something else, it was a little bit confusing. I honestly, we were talking that we think the anchors could probably just have read it off or put it in a different location and have Jack read it, but not like directly after his package. I noticed there were some audio issues today with some. I think mine was too quiet. Tristan's was a little loud and like switching off. And then Eddie had an idea about the forecast, if we can do it. It was instead of like, because we loved the 5-day forecast for sports, but maybe doing something like sportscast, like setting it apart from forecasts or like weather. But yeah, that's what I had. So.
Very nice. Before we go to the next person, Kira.
Shelby hit my main point today. We had a lot of you had some audio issues in your package. Sorry, love you. So balance your audio. If there's time, a lot of you actually had your packages in early today. So if there's time, when you export it, listen through your audio. Just check on that for us, so that sorry. I never take this away. Just so that our text team doesn't have to be writing your audio as much. And then we tried something new today with all of our lower thirds and all of our story slugs and all of those, which was super fun. I loved I thought they added a lot to y'all's newscast. But just keep them short if possible. Like if they could be 2 words, 3 words, 4 words, anything more than that, it's gonna like get really tiny and it's gonna be hard to read. So if you could watch your word count on that, and then shout out to y'all. You had 2 really successful live shots. I thought they both looked really good. They both did really good. So that was really exciting for us too. So good job.
Thank you, Kira. All right, who's next? Alana? Oh.
Ask a question on call. She wants me to like patch
Sure.
her in. So I don't know.
You're good.
Hi. Okay, you're on live.
Oh, okay. Hey, my question is so that I did the thing to balance my audio, where it's the max peak thing, yet my audio was still off. So what do I do besides the max peak setting to still fully balance my audio?
Anybody have a good trick before I start on my stuff?
What is it?
Who do you?
It's only max peak.
Max peak?
I'm pretty sure if it's just max peak, it won't actually balance your audio. Just make sure that if something is overblown, it'll max it out there. I don't think that's, usually you have to go through and watch it for each clip.
I'm watching. Oh. Do you have your view meter up? Do you have your view meter up when you edit? You know, the little window with your view meter? It's the little.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so look at that. When you listen, don't trust your ears. Trust that meter and look at every audio track. Because you may have something on channel 1, then you have something on channel 2. Make sure that you're getting the audio from each track, okay?
Okay, great.
Okay. You so much. You are welcome.
All right, bye.
Bye. Okay, Alana, you're next.
So yeah, the same thing with Jack being on camera. I think the anchors, their role is to kind of tell those news stories about the readers, so I think that would have made sense as well. Mickey disagreed with me, but I thought it was a little jump cutty to have Holly Kate live and then the first shot of her package be her on camera.
It was a jump cut period in the story. Yeah.
So I thought maybe.
But nice way to say it, jump cutty.
Jump cutty. But yeah, other than that, I thought the show was great. I loved the coming up thing. That was a really good idea. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited to see what's next. I'm trying to remember I should have written the other one down, but I had one more note. I think it was about, and just in general, like, even though it is a tedious process, you kind of do have to go in and clip by clip, edit the audio for your clips.
Yeah.
There's no way to just I want to make them all sound good. Like, you have to go in one by one and make sure they're all peaking at -12. But great show. You guys did really well.
Okay, and who else? Oh, Megan Pastino. We did skip right over Jack. We'll get to you, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the live shots definitely stood out in the broadcast. I think we should continue to try and push that as much as possible. I think that it matters that the locations they're in are engaging. Like, Holly Kate's package was really cool, but it was nice that she was in, like, a colorful spot, so making sure we do more of that. I really liked the sports forecast. I think that should be a recurring thing, but Jack and I both agreed, like, we probably could have done maybe some light music over that or a little something, because you were up there for a while and, like, the graphic was good, but anything that you watch that's, like, a quick sports minute has a little something going on. So now that we're comfortable with graphics, maybe adding some audio to that would have been cool.
Sure, I'm not going to ride the coattails of everybody in here because a lot of the thoughts that they're saying I agree with. I would have tweaked the sports segment a little bit. I thought between the sportscast idea, that's pretty cool. I like that. And yeah, it just felt like you were having fun doing it. It was a new idea. Maybe for next time we can add some audio. And on audio, I think it's a reoccurring issue with everybody in here. It's probably one of the hardest things we're going to have to do is learn how to balance it out. I'm still trying to work through the kinks in my packages with audio, as is everybody else. So I don't know. Maybe Cantrell has some wisdom, some audio wisdom.
Honestly, what Alana just said, that's what you have to do.
Go through it.
And you got to look, and you got to look at, track 1, track 2, before you, I think, and you've got to check that in the view meter. I think a lot of us just listen, and you guys have, like, the headphones, you listen, oh, that sounds good. But it's, it's what it looks like on the meter. And one important thing, we do want sound under all video. That's generally, that's not going to be -12, right? Who knows where that's going to be? What is it generally set for? Nat sound under people talking.
I don't know, 24, 30?
Yes. Yeah, you're good. All right. Tanvi, your thoughts?
Thank you. Honestly, Shelby covered kind of everything I had noted down. I would have liked the concept of Jack having a conversation with Blake about his package afterwards, but then the reader being different was a little bit weird for me, but I do like the concept of the reporter coming back and having a conversation there. The jump cut, but your live was great, Holly Kate. I hate sports, but I really liked sports today. That was really cool. Oh, one thing I've noticed, not just today was a little bit longer, but it's happened other days too, is after the weather is, like the 5-day weather is done, and the anchor continues talking, it's just like a gray background. So if we could maybe try to do graphics in the future, I think that would be really cool, because I know Aaron had a little bit to say after like the 5-day weather was over. So it would just be cool to look at something, because I know other anchors also deal with that in weather.
Thank you. That's a good call.
Great
We
show
absolutely need to do that. And I think, the key thing about teamwork, guys, is if you guys will all be responsible for your little corner of the world from soup to nuts. Today I was spending a lot of time going, you didn't put your brackets in there. And it's because your producer and your AP will go in there and do it for you. It doesn't help you. It doesn't teach you. Nobody else can do that for you. They're going to go back and check and throw it back. So little things like that, if we're doing weather, let's make sure we don't have the gray. And most of you are really good at doing that. So I have a couple of things I want to say, but they're boring. So let's turn it over to you. What do you think? How'd you like what you did?
Yeah, I thought it went a lot smoother than Monday. part of it, I think, was just you guys did a great job at getting everything in on time and
Big part.
giving us time to sort through some issues. Like, I don't think we would have, on Monday, we definitely wouldn't have gotten Megan's package aired if it wasn't, we didn't have time to look through it. I had time to go over the rundown with the anchors, go over the rundown with Kira and all the other production team people, and everyone was on the same page going into it. I thought the packages were great. I mean, obviously the audio maybe had a bit of a problem, but I didn't notice it as much. All the packages were pretty engaging. They had a lot of interesting stuff going on. So definitely of the two that I did, I think it was clearly better than Monday. It was a lot less rushed, and I think we took on a lot with the live shots and everything too, but props to Holly, Kate, and DeAndre, although DeAndre's not here, for knowing what their content was. I've been there before. It's not the easiest to do a live shot when you're, kind of having to remember everything you're saying, and then it goes to your package and all that stuff. So,
Well, you kind of set the bar for us early. Remember? You were like our first live shot, and you were really, really good. Nobody else has a choice.
Yeah, so I mean, that was good. I think it obviously, you're looking to look as professional as possible with one of these, and I think we got closer to that this week with all the graphics we introduced. Everyone was very helpful also in just seeing what they could do to help, and took on a lot too. I thought all the readers and people, especially people from digital team like Alana and Olivia, although we didn't air that, the 5K for Cappy's part, the 5K part, they're very helpful in getting us other content, and then we're in the great position where, although it sucks to have to cut something, you'd rather do that than figure out how to fill 3 minutes of time that you don't have anything for. So I thought it just overall looked a lot more put together, and that's what I was hoping, was that it kind of, and I will agree, maybe some parts like the jump cut, unfortunately, we were planning on having Blake zoomed in at first and then cutting to Jack, and I was kind of taken aback too, where it was Jack was on the screen and then he was just at the desk staring at the thing. I was like, oh, that's not what I wanted.
Magic Jack.
Yeah, yeah, all the readers did. They were great and informational too, and I tried to try as much stuff with them too, like different 2 boxes for live shots. We hadn't really done anything similar to me and Ion's conversation, but I thought everyone was ready today, and I thought we put together one of the better shows of the semester.
I think you did too. Anna, what do you have to say?
I agree with a lot of what he had to say. I like how we experimented with our live shots. We decided to do 1 2-box and then 1 just to cut, kind of just to see what we liked better and if there was a noticeable difference. I don't think anyone was really sweating too much today about getting your stuff in, which is a really big help, especially when I'm going through the rundown and I can easily click on y'all's little section and see what your story's about. That way, if someone couldn't get their slug to me or get a lead in, I can do it myself. So if y'all get y'all's things in faster, I mean, I was a reporter forever, and it's a lot easier said than done, obviously. But that's just a huge help. Also, I kind of wanted to touch on that. Sometimes I was y'all would get your packages in, but people wouldn't send me a lead, which is I know you're busy, but that's kind of a simple sentence. And then also the stand-ups and pre-show teases, everyone just send in even if it's just a B-roll clip, because we use that. Sometimes people are standing up talking, like Jax was talking, but then some other people's were just really good thoughts. So make sure you just send those in whenever you get a chance, as fast as possible, because that is the first thing that we show. And we're also doing pre-block teases now, so that's important. So if your story is going to be the main one on your block, make sure to send something in so we can tease it before we cut to break. And like you were saying, I appreciate everybody stepping up. We had lots of people that played roles they weren't assigned, which was nice. And then Jack stepped up and did that reader when that was not his story at all, but we needed somebody to talk about it. Does everyone have these Excel sheets for the lower thirds? because some of y'all put your stuff in, and then I did most of it, which is completely fine. I kind of liked coming up with slugs and stuff. That's another thing. Make sure they're shorter, because if y'all saw it, sometimes it cut off. It's like, I need to find the letter count, because like one time there was like one letter cut off at the very end of it, and so it kind of ruined it. But yeah, so make sure everyone has access to these Excel sheets. But yeah, I thought it was a great show, and it was a lot of fun.
They were very good leads.
Yeah, I would say like this week we've been working, and if you come into the producer role in the next few weeks, like in the anchor roles, all that stuff, you'll see we tried. I think this week you and I kind of looked at like the leads, and we're like, how can we make this as simple as possible without not having something of important detail in there? So I thought maybe in the future, that's an exercise that everyone does, like not just producers, to just kind of, I mean, we kind of already had done that. Like I had been doing that when I was a reporter with you. When I would show you my script, I'd have the lead, then we'd go over that to edit that first. And so I would, yeah, I guess like challenge everyone and myself too to make it as simplistic as possible, but still impactful. Because for me, like, as you've said, I'm a writer at heart, I guess. Like I'm overdoing it a little bit sometimes. So
lots of words.
Yeah, you know, you just kind of have to figure out which ones are important and which ones aren't.
Well, for what it's worth, Gunnar and everybody, it's easier to be the editor after you all have written the stuff down. I mean, editors, we don't have to come up with the creative thought or the idea or go out there and everything. So yeah, we're magic, right? Because we have everything to work with. The goal is to get us to, and we're always going to make some changes. If for no other reason, then you guys work on your stories and you put so much of your heart and soul in it that you do become pretty blind to how it lands. And that's why you want to use me, why you want to use your producers, because like I think DeAndre, I said, where's that building? And he said, well, it's on the corner of Lumpkin and something, something. What I was really asking is what town, what city? Because it's in Athens, Georgia, right? But because we're all inside this fishbowl, and we take some things for granted. Today, Alana and I were working on something, and Dr. Bright said, blah, 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 and I went, oh, snap. Because it's a story we've been working on 2 or 3 days, so we become a little blind, so watch for that. Even if you have somebody else read your stuff, they can say, who's that guy? I don't know what he means. That'll be really helpful. Just a couple of things. Yeah, I thought you guys did a wonderful job today with the slugs. Try to keep it to 2 words, like, you know, what is your thing called? Something.
Jamming in the streets, but jam for camp.
Yeah, but we had jamming in the streets of downtown Athens. We just need street jam. Jam in the streets. You know, so all of you, you know, make your producer and associate producer's job easier and make sure. Well, now let me tell you why it's important to get those in early. Because you can create a slug that is misleading. Slugs say something. You have to make sure that you don't have many words. So I saw a slug once that said murderer caught. Well, great. He was a guy questioned in a murder. It was not a murderer caught. He and his attorney let us know that. Just from a slug banner. So they look great, but do not forget their import. They are also part of messaging, okay? The audio, I'm not going to beat that dead horse anymore. We got to get that together, y'all. Y'all work too hard to have amateur hour. Video, I have to agree with what you said, Shelby. We got to get out and get some video, y'all. We have to. Number one, it's not even for what you're doing here. It's for what you're going to be required to do somewhere else. A lot of you are going to wind up working in public relations. You're going to work, I don't know, it'd be PR for hospital. Who knows what you'll be doing? Or having your own companies. I assure you, you're going to be working in a visually centric world. Be the best at it. because you're dealing with an entire society that's pretty darn good. My 12-year-old can, well, I don't have a 12, like he's my grandson, okay? My little 12-year-old, poor thing. You know, he's a pretty fast little editor. He's pretty good. So think about those. Get out there and shoot video. Get out there and talk to people. And remember wide, medium, tight, tight, tight. The thing about Holly Kate, and also we go to multiple platforms because each of these platforms has a different vibe. So we want to speak to that vibe. So I loved Holly Kate's open and close for the vibe of YouTube. I didn't love it when she was live in one outfit and then she's in another outfit. It's disconcerting. But all we need to do was, we could take that off. And then we could let her do the tag and maybe not do a live tag with her, come back. There are a million different ways. That's something I know when you were looking at it, you were going like, ah! Because, you know, I didn't think about it. When I saw it, I went, oh man, I should have said something. I know better. As far as what Jack Keys and that thing, I thought that was real weird. I thought it was weird before, but here's what I'll tell you. Let's keep trying. When we try things, you know, we don't know that that's a bad idea. We do know we didn't love the execution. But in a world where maybe staffs are going to be smaller, it may be. You know, the old rule of television, if you showed up in a newscast with one story, you certainly didn't show up on another. There, you know, maybe people will think you don't know much about anything if you're having to deeply investigate these two things. Who knows? You just didn't do it. We didn't really have time for it. But the reality is a little bit different. We can offer different treatments of different stories. And you all are, as you heard from Amy, you're going to have to do multiple stories, which is why we all started with, you got to have a reader too. I encourage you guys to talk to your beats. A reader's 10 seconds, y'all. It's the quickest update. And sometimes, and many times, those readers will be just little community events. I think a big part of why community newscasts have died is, I don't know about you, but I'm not really interested in just the wreck, the murder, I want to know what's going on in my community holistically, but that's not all there is to our communities. In fact, it's not even the biggest part, right? So, you know, don't think that, oh my God, I don't have another hard news reader. There's plenty of things going on. As you get to know your communities, you'll know what those things are, okay? And it never hurts to call your sources and say, hey, because they're thinking, oh my God, what fresh Hades are they opening for me today? What's going on good? What you got in your neighborhood? What are you going to be doing this weekend? I used to get some really good stories saying, what you doing this weekend? I'm going to go to the bark in the park and the blah, blah. Oh, snap. Me too. I'm going to get a dog. So I really liked today's show. Now, one of the things that was a challenge for me, one of the things that I sent you guys an email about, it was so important, was get in here. What saved some time today is when I go back and forth, I like editing y'all in Slack. But the problem is that a lot gets lost in translation. And you guys are far enough along to where I want to work with you individually. Because this is the point in the semester where we get to really, and I've said this for a couple of weeks now, we get to really mine your individual talents, and you've all got them, but I can't do that over this thing. And I sure can't do it. I think Monday and last week I said to a couple of you, I said, you know, it's barely competent, but I'm just keeping you out of court today. I want to do better for you than that. I am capable. So, what movie was it? I think it was a sports movie. Help me help you. Was that a sports movie? Okay. Wait, what? Okay, somebody look it up. All right, and I want to show you all something really, really quick. Or maybe I'll show it to you after we go off the air. I think that's an audio. Oh, so get in here in the newsroom, y'all. Years ago, before COVID, we all came in at 8:30. We left at 7, and that was that. Since that time, parking has become such an issue. Frankly, I don't want you all frazzled from that, to come in here and then to get back in your cars and go again. But we can't be camping out in other places and just doing this back and forth. So get into this newsroom as soon as you can. Write your scripts in this newsroom. It's much quicker when I go this. Please know that that's also going to feel a little bit painful. I think I was on Megan Pastino's last nerve today. You know, now you got to do this. No, we don't like that. No, try this, try that. I'm going to be talking to y'all on, I'm going to video reference, video reference, video reference, video reference. And now I'm going to also start talking about, oh wait, I've said it before, but I'm going to hound a little bit on it. I will give $100 to somebody that does a stand-up that is creative, that illustrates, that demonstrates. My God, I've been reduced to like, if you'll clean your room, 100, okay? To somebody that gives us a stand-up that goes, OMG, I've got to watch that. Fred, Mabel, get in here. Okay? Please, y'all, illustrate, demonstrate. Don't just stand there. And taboo, no more brick buildings for cover video. All right? You guys are really, really far along, and when we get far along, we start, you know, digging in the details. Okay? Does everybody know what a package is? What's a package? Shelby. Yep, all the, and a VOSOT? Voiceover and a soundbite. And a VO? Voiceover, yep, anchors talk, and the video just rolls, got a little nat sound. And a reader. How about an OTS?
Over the shoulder.
Yes! Oh my God, you guys are the bomb. Okay, so today I thought Eddie's thing was a reader. I proofed a reader. I proofed a package. Oh my God, thank you. I proofed a package, but then it was a VOSOT.
I'm obviously not going to blame you for that.
But you can. I'm okay. I'm a big.
I think that was just full miscommunication.
Well, and that's the point. That's why I brought up, do we all know what is our language? We have to have a common language. Yeah, there's nothing's a blame thing.
Yeah. Well, when he said, like, he didn't have much B-roll, and I knew that it was going to be like that, because I had been seeing what he had been working on throughout the day, like, in the thing, but I guess that wasn't communicated to you. So I guess I should have just double-checked there.
I don't think that's necessary. It's not my show. You're producing it. But I will say this as a leader. You know, this morning we had to push a little bit to get 2 live shots, right? I love how you all work as a team. I do. I don't love how you play to sometimes your weakest links and fears. I don't think that helps any of you. Eddie has shown us time and time again he's perfectly capable of doing a package. Of course he's short on video, so was everybody else. There wasn't a story I proofed today, with the exception of 1 or 2, that I could have said, well, I guess that's the best you can, okay, well we'll turn everybody else into a pretzel because I want to protect you. When you start protecting everybody, you protect nobody, you don't protect the show, you sure don't protect the viewer, you end up hurting everybody. And I know that's hard because these are your peers, right? Oh my God, who wants to boss them around? But let's at least commit to try to, and you guys can do this to me if you want, I'm going to try to be more patient. Okay, I was waiting for that. I'm going to try. Alana said, you need to be patient. I was like, I don't know how much more patient I impatiently yelled, how much more patient can I be? But the reality is we need to support one another to be your best self, the self you don't even know you can be yet, okay? So don't let somebody, don't help them not be there. Eddie, I know you had some video, and you know, remember when we did the gun and the Narcan and all that? You know we put a few smart heads together, you come up with something, right? Okay then. Anybody else have any last comments? And try that Jack thing again. I got some ideas that little thing you came up with might actually work.
Essentially, we cut from Jack's package to a conversational thing at the desk, like what me and Ion did last week, where, so, but, yeah.
1 minute, okay.
I'll finish up. The issue was we were supposed to cut to like a zoom in of Blake and then Jack, but then it cut from Jack's like ending stand up to him sitting at the desk with Blake, so it just looked a little awkward.
But it still would have been weird. But I think you're onto something. So let's not be so quick to condemn things that are weird, because remember, our weird is just we ain't never seen that before on TV. So let's just take a chance. Try again. Okay, that's all we have for you. Thank you so much for joining us on Grady Newsource. We appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or jokes, send them to us. Bye-bye. Yes. Okay.